Recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM and broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games. With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes, Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZEVGamesAU.
Hello, you're listening to Z Games. My name is Evie, and I'm alone again in studio this week. I'm hanging out with me, myself, and I. It's an interesting experience, and I'm appreciating it for what it's worth. My team can get rowdy sometimes, so it's pretty cool to be in here on my own. At the same time, I'm also very lonely. It's a conflicting experience. Z Games. So we talk about games and talk about our experiences with games. We chat to people who make them as well, and we chat about music that comes out of this incredible interactive medium. Z Games is completely community run. Everyone here is volunteer, myself included, and we don't take any paid sponsorships from any companies, so we're completely non-biased in our opinion when it comes to games. It can mean a combination of things. It can mean that we absolutely love things personally and unconditionally despite what anyone else says, because we're all unique and individual in our tastes. But it also means that we can be pretty tough on games as well, because we can be. We don't have anyone filtering what we say and how we say it. We are who we are. Today on Z Games, we'll be listening to some news, which is coming up shortly. And we will also be hearing a review from Will, who is not in studio, but has kindly recorded a review for us on the game Stela. So we'll be listening to him chat about that today, which will be fantastic. We also have a group discussion with me, Millie, Rani, and Caitlin from earlier in the week, where we were chatting about Animal Crossing. So it's a long conversation, all recorded via Discord, so I apologise if some of the quality is a little bit sketchy. I did the best I could, but we're all learning and adapting to this remote environment that is self-isolating and physical distancing from other people at the moment. But yeah, on that note, I think it's time for us to listen to the news. This week in gaming news, the official shutdown of Xbox Magazine. After close to 2 decades, the long-running official Xbox Magazine comes to an end, as reported by Eurogamer. The magazine had its final day last week, with the last of its staff to be let go. A statement released from the publishers of the magazine, Future, says, "Like many organisations right now, we find ourselves being forced into making difficult decisions. We have a duty of care to all our staff during this time, and our focus is on protecting the business for them and for our customers." The end of official Xbox Magazine happens to be in the same year as Microsoft released their new console, so it's not all doom and gloom. Hopefully, the magazine will be able to release its content again in the future. Gaming companies and WHO coronavirus guidance come together. A large group of big-named companies are teaming up to help encourage players to stay at home. Those companies are Activision Blizzard, Riot Games, and streaming platform Twitch. They are all part of a campaign called Play Apart Together. This campaign will see 18 gaming entertainers help incentivize players to engage with special events, exclusives, activities, and of course, rewards. Whilst engaging with all this content, platforms are adding important self-protection messaging around COVID-19. All this is designed to help bring people together during the pandemic. Blizzard's CEO Bobby Kotick says, "It's never been more critical to ensure people stay safely connected to one another. Games are the perfect platform because they connect people through the lens of joy, purpose, and meaning. We are proud to participate in such a worthwhile and necessary initiative." Valorant, the new stylized shooter from Riot Games, has their first closed beta. Fans are super excited to have a play and get a feel for this new first-person shooter. The closed beta begins on the 7th of April, internationally. Unfortunately though, Australia is not on that list. This beta only includes the US, Canada, Europe, and Russia. A statement from the executive producer of Valorant, Anna Donlan, states, Our plan was to bring the Valorant closed beta to as many people as possible around the world as quickly as possible, but the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted those plans, compromising a wider global rollout. For now, we have to focus on the regions where we feel most ready, with more regions following in the months to come. So don't worry if you felt like you were missing out. Hang in there, Australia will surely end up on that list soon enough. Guerrilla Games' Horizon Zero Dawn is getting its very own comic book series. The series will take place after the events of the game, so don't pick it up until you've played it all through. The comics will be launching the same time as the game comes to PC in the summer of 2020, which I assume is winter down under. Be sure to keep your eyes out for that. That's all this week in gaming news. What an interesting week in news. Seems to be a lot happening with games at the moment, which is really fantastic to see that people are reaching for this medium to engage with while they spend time at home. I know that's what I do, even before this pandemic. That's what I did. But yeah, in terms of the news, well, the official shutdown of Xbox Magazine, that's really sad. I remember being a kid and going to my local 7-Eleven and trying to convince my mum or my dad to buy me one of those magazines. I loved Xbox very much growing up. It was my first console, so maybe showing my age now. I'm sure some gamers out there going, no, Nintendo, or Atari for some others. But yeah, Xbox was my first official console, and the magazines meant a lot to me as well. It is quite sad to hear about that, but at least there's some good news. There's, the gaming companies are coming together with WHO to spread awareness and to help each other in this time, make sure that everyone takes care of themselves and that there's incentives for people to engage with. Like I really like the idea of this play a part together where they've got special events and those exclusive deals and of course rewards for competing and stuff. I think this is great. I think this is probably one of the better ways that we can help encourage people to stay connected as well. It's challenging to stay connected at the moment, and video games seem to be bridging this huge gap. And in Animal Crossing, a lot of people seem to be sharing some photos around on Twitter and stuff of going on dates in Animal Crossing, which is really cute and quite, it's the best that we've got. So I'm really enjoying that. Yeah, and also Guerrilla Games for Horizon Zero Dawn with their comic book series. Now, Horizon Zero Dawn, for me, personally, is one of the greatest games I think I've ever played. It's unbelievable. It was, I think, somewhere between 7 and 10 years in development, which is an extremely long time for a game to be in development. Most games, AAA games, do take years, but in this particular instance, Horizon Zero Dawn took close to a decade, I think. The musical score is phenomenal. It's one of the better games I've played. It's also coming to PC very soon, so I would definitely recommend getting your hands on that if you're looking for something to play at home. It is extremely deep, it is extremely meaningful, it is probably got some of the most beautiful gameplay and flow that I've ever played, and it's got a comic book series coming out, and I am very, very, very excited to read this comic book series. I think this week's been pretty interesting in news, and I'm glad that most of it's positive and that we're trying to make best of the situation that we're all in, especially as game players, where we're mostly trying to capitalize on people being online more, which is great, especially for streamers and Twitch streamers. I know that they're trying the best they can to entertain those people at home who are apparently working from home in quotations. So yeah, they're doing a good job. I'm going to tell you a joke. I don't know if it's going to go down really well, but I won't know, so that doesn't matter. So what do you say when you lose a Nintendo game? I want a Wii match. Okay, I'm sure that landed. Even me reading it out again, I'm laughing. Okay, all right, that's fine. Anyway, Will, who is not here physically, did actually review a very cool game called Stela by the same developers who created Halo Infinite. And he gets really in deep about his experience with the game. So I'm going to leave it up to him now to talk about it.
Today we're going to be reviewing a game that I've been looking forward to review ever since I saw the trailer for it. And I actually saw that fairly recently, and it's fun because this game has been out for a little while, and I'm surprised that it got flown in under my radar. The game I'm talking about is, of course, Stela, a adventure puzzle game developed by Skybox Labs and was also published by Skybox Lab. You'll be able to find this game on the Switch, in Steam, and on Xbox One or iOS. So as I said, this game got released last year at about 17th of October, but it's been published on more and more platforms, which is why it's a little bit more relevant still. And for anyone who knows me, you know that I will always talk about my love for games like Journey, A Tale of Two Sons, and Limbo. While it's not my usual piece of bread to have, I love when I can get just a narrative experience that will let me be immersed for 1 or 2 hours. And I can tell you guys with this game, you will not be disappointed. Jumping right into the narrative of the game, which is the key word for this review. So, the game starts off as it would do with any of these games. You start off in some sort of a cave, and all of a sudden you see this weird rock. And usually you wouldn't think anything about this rock. But all of a sudden, the rock starts glowing with weird blue runes on it. Like a Stela. And that is the main way we're going to be told the story, is through these random Stelas all around that you see when you progress through the levels. But anyhow, through this Stela, a woman is born, which will be our unnamed protagonist, who we're going to go on this adventure with. So, just like any newborn baby, not knowing anything about the world, we set out to explore and find out what is happening, what is going on, and we do this by traversing desolate and hostile environments, facing both beasts and humanoid monsters that then will show out to be playing a bigger role in this story than we expected. Stela's story is told, as I said, in the same way like games like Limbo or Journey, where we're not explicitly told the story. There's not a single piece of dialogue, and there's not any written text. It's all just visual storytelling through the environment as a whole and through these Stelas, which I think is really cool because it lets you kind of piece the whole game together in your head. And I always find that narratives like that tends to be the most interesting, at least for me. So, but a narrative game can't just be holding up itself through narrative. There also has to be some sort of gameplay. So, Stela is a 2-dimensional 3D game. This means that it utilizes 3D models and all that stuff, but you're only moving back and forth on each side. While there are the occasional press W and you will go into a little nook or be able to jump up a higher cliff, mostly the game is just you moving along the 2 axes, right? And the game is mostly focused on having puzzles and platforming. But Stela is quite interesting because it's sort of like an interactive movie. Having just these simple inputs where you have an interaction key, a jump key, and move from side to side, you don't really need to pay too much attention in terms of skill, but you have to always be aware of what you're doing. As the smallest little mistake where you're not active or ready, you will die. The game is almost like Dark Souls in that sense, which I will also get into a little bit why it's a very frustrating game for me to play. But it's really interesting how the gameplay feels so smooth and the dangers that you're encountering feel so real because you are in the thick of it with the action and trying to overcome these puzzles or these monsters or other hazards that you encounter. But mostly the puzzles are fairly simple, usually just having you move an object A or jump on the right time, almost like a quick time event, or move when the light goes green, thinking a little bit like red, yellow, go, run while you can. But with this as well, I found myself being rather frustrated a lot of times because the prompts for which things I can interact with was very limited, and it needed me to have full focus on it. This being both a pro and a con with this game, because it really made me feel immersed and focused, but when I happened to miss these prompts, I would get frustrated and pulled out of the experience, and this happened quite a lot, which made me kind of disappointed. Also, you got a bunch of achievements just for playing the game. And I played through this game once with a 2-hour span, and I got 77% of the achievements. And I love achievements just as much as the next guy, but they didn't feel worth for me anymore. I didn't feel like I got anything from it. But with that said, when I actually did overcome the puzzles and narrative, or the puzzles and interactions, it felt extremely good, and it really felt like I was making the smart choice, which I thought was really cool. And tying back again to the narrative and all that stuff, the audio in this game, I'm a real sucker for good violin play, and already in the first level, I got to see some phenomenal violins being played, and I really, really love that. And the visuals for the game also is really captivating, making you feel like every time you're going through a zone or a level, you really feel like that's a unique place that you haven't been to before, which was really cool. And it really made you see the progress that you were making, feeling like you're going through these steps on your adventure and finally ending up on the other side. And I thought this was really cool. Overall, with this experience, I really, really liked it. While I played on the computer, I do feel like this game would have been better to play on a Switch, for example. I would have loved to sit just in my couch and just enjoy the narrative and the story as if I'm watching a movie, which I think would have been a lot more comfortable. The narrative was interesting, and I can tell you guys already, the ending was a real what the frick moment for me, and I'm really curious why that happened, and makes me really want to replay the game again to try to figure out what was happening. And while the puzzles were nice and easy, helping the gameplay feel smooth, it was also a little bit frustrating with the prompts not being as visible as I would have liked to see. But I feel like if I were to play through this game again, that wouldn't be the same problem. I would also recommend this game to anybody who likes adventure games like Limbo or things similar, and who enjoy puzzling the story together in their head. I'm really curious what this game has to tell more, and I'm fairly certain there is a second ending, but I cannot confirm this, and I don't know. That's just my intuition to things. So, leaving that with that, I recommend you playing this on Xbox One or the Switch, but if you just like narrative experiences, go give this game a go. It was absolutely fantastic, and it's not really that expensive, laying at about a $17 on Steam. Thank you very much.
You were just listening to Will talk about Stela. Awesome game. Check it out. I hope you enjoyed listening to his wonderful Swedish accent talking about awesome games. I do have a joke that I would like to share, because I said that I would share some video game jokes, and I've already shared one. I'm going to share another one. This one I came up with. It's not particularly good, and I don't expect you to laugh, but I do expect you to roll your eyes very hard, because that's what my lecturers did when I was studying game design. So, what does an actor and a programmer have in common? Scripts. Yeah. I can feel it now. I can feel the laughter, the booming laughter. Anyway, I'm sure that went down real well. My lecturers really loved it. I hope you've been enjoying the show so far. It's been an interesting episode hanging out here in the studio for now. But right now, earlier in the week, I recorded my time hanging out with Millie, Rani, and Caitlin, who all own the game Animal Crossing. I now also own Animal Crossing, but I didn't when I recorded this interview. They actually sold it to me because I wanted to hang out with them, because I couldn't physically hang out with them. And it looks like Animal Crossing is the place to do that. So let's listen to the discussion we had earlier in the week about Animal Crossing. Alright, so we're going to be talking about Animal Crossing, which I believe Caitlin, Millie, and Rani have been playing.
We're still playing.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% right now.
100% right now, yeah.
Yeah, they're all on my island at the moment, which is Pereira.
There is a
left
lot
you
of
a note.
Oh, thank you.
there is a lot of hype happening around Animal Crossing at the moment. Why are people so hyped about Animal Crossing, and what is it, and how are you guys enjoying it?
The world outside is terrifying right now.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a place of peace.
I think that it's sort of meaning that I can go visit my friends, but I don't have to leave my house.
Exactly.
Literally was just talking to my partner's mom about getting Animal Crossing for her because she is a raging extrovert, and so that we could interact with her on an eveningly basis through Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's
really
cute.
sweet.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
Eating apple trees.
I think a big part of it is such a chilled out, mild game. There's no like, oh, you're gonna get no scoped, you're gonna, have a bad time. Like, there's none of that. It is literally just, you're gonna pick some flowers maybe, you're gonna catch some fish, you're gonna hang out with your friends, you're gonna slowly like build and make your island cute. Like, it is, I was saying to the guys just before when we started this call, literally everything is so insane at the moment. I get home from work, I'm so stressed out, I sit down and I play Animal Crossing, and it's just so nice.
It's just so it puts you in a sense of calm because all your expectations is to just say hello to people. That's it.
Yeah. You don't even have to do that if you don't want to.
So what do you actually do in Animal Crossing? Because I don't play. I want to play because everyone seems to be playing it. But what is it exactly?
It's a simulation, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, I think so. This one takes a lot from the mobile game Pocket Camp, where you are sort of away on this deserted island. It's not deserted anymore because you've literally just taken it over. And what you're trying to do is just kind of, I guess, manage it in that sense. Like you go around, you pick up the weeds, you plant the flowers, you chop down trees, you shake the trees, you get stung by wasps.
Oh God!
You sell, you sell the things to Tom Nook's not children but children raccoon things. And you do Tom Nook's bidding, and that's about it.
So do you like?
He's the overlord. Tom Nook.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you're basically, my understanding is that you live on like an island, and you build on that island things like you gather. So you're just sort of gathering things like fruit and animals and blah 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 blah.
Like I'm slowly collecting more people that live on my island, and I had to build their houses for them and all of their furniture for them because Tom Nook just doesn't want to do it, so he makes you do it.
Lazy.
Yeah, that's what I had to do as well.
So what's the story? Why is it called Animal Crossing then? If you're
come across animals,
you don't cross the animal.
Yeah, you're the only non-animal, so I don't really know where the name Animal Crossing came from.
Okay, so it is quite unrelated to the name. I'm always like, why is it called Animal Crossing, but people are like collecting spiders and fish and la 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 la. And
I think it has to do with trying to get the animals to come across to your town. So in this sense, it's your island. I think it's that, because in the last iteration of the game, which I had on the DS, I even had the DS, the Animal Crossing Limited Edition DS. That one was more of an actual like town sort of setting, and this one is islands rather than, and you're just trying to convince everybody to come live on your island. Except, I don't want anyone on my island. I just want to have my house and plant my fruit and catch my bugs and fish, and I want everybody to leave me alone.
So that's cute. So Caitlin and Millie, you guys met up just before we started this call today.
So Caitlin's still on my island at the moment.
Yeah, I'm heading over.
Fish.
So you guys can like visit each other and help each other out and stuff like that?
You need a Nintendo online subscription though, which I didn't know about. Hello. We just ran into each other. But Yeah, I'm just doing the free trial so I can collect friends and more fruits, because each island that you get placed on has a different native fruit. So that's a goal to sort of meet up with people.
So it's encouraging you to like connect and socialize with other people.
Yeah.
Whilst also getting you to pay for the Nintendo Shop subscription.
Yeah, you can totally do it without meeting people, because you can fly off to other unknown islands to collect fruits and stuff, which is how I got most of mine, and I'm only missing apples.
Oh, come over, Caitlin's
yeah, I'm on my way. But it has that option there. But yeah, it is a bit upsetting. Not upsetting, but it was a bit of a confrontation when any online play in eShops would...
Uh-oh. You were cutting out on us, Rani.
Try
again. Say what you're saying.
Okay. It was a bit of a sort of disappointment that you have to pay to be able to play online, but also I apparently have had that subscription since Smash came out and didn't realise.
Oh, damn.
Because obviously I wanted to play online when I had Smash, so I've just had it that entire time. And I had a friend get Animal Crossing. I was like, oh, come visit my island. And she didn't have the subscription. And I was like, oh, you don't need it. And she was like, it tells me I need it. And I was like, oh, whoops.
So do you need it? So, like, if you purchase Animal Crossing, for example, right, you buy it on the Switch, and you were like, yeah, I only bought this with the intention of, like, hanging out with friends and, like, doing something kind of social and you know, doing all these tasks that are quite wholesome. But I mainly want to do it to, like, socialize and connect with people. Do you have so the subscription is sort of like something you have to do in order to connect with, like, if I wanted to catch up with Caitlin, Millie, and you guys, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless
you have to have it.
Unless if you have,
it's unfortunate, but you have to have it. Unless we're all in the same room.
Yes, if you're all in the same space, then you can do it.
Rani's coming over.
Rani's on the way. Yeah, if you're all in the same space, which isn't possible at the moment.
Yeah, that was very disappointing in that aspect. And also, you need to have that dodo code enabled, because otherwise, like, people on your friends list, they can't come over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you can...
Even if you add someone on Nintendo Friends or Switch Friends, it doesn't sort of trigger them to come over.
Unless you've had them come over previously. So once you have them as your friend in Animal Crossing, then they can sort of come and go freely as long as your gates are open. But you do need that dodo code first off. The local play is interesting. Obviously not too many people have had an experience with it at the moment, given the sort of social situation everybody's in. But it from what I've read and what I've seen, it takes on this idea of the person who hosts it is like player one, and everybody sort of helps them along what they want to do. It seems like it's a little bit different to what you would normally be doing, but I haven't experienced it yet. So
it's like a huge like community building game, basically.
Yeah,
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly about developing your island, getting villagers to come and be with you on the island. That's the main
so
sort
you're
of goal.
building an empire.
Yes.
Well, yeah, some people have. But yeah, you're basically just building this space to, grow things and have fun, and it's very pure. I think the best way to describe Animal Crossing is as a slice of life game. If you ever heard the term slice of life for an anime, where it's just very simple, it's just like a little chilled out sort of slice of somebody's life, what they're doing in that time. It's like that. There's no stakes. You just hang out.
It's definitely like that.
All right, final question. You guys, would you recommend Animal Crossing?
Yes.
100% yes. Like, I think I might actually buy it for my partner's mom. Like, it is so nice to just play at the end of a long day.
Absolutely. It's so relaxing. And just checking in every day and just, having to go back and collect fruit and dig up fossils, talk to the animals. It's so wholesome.
Aw, well, that's great. Well, thanks, guys, for chatting about Animal Crossing. I am going to go see how much it costs right now.
Do it. Join us.
If you really like Animal Crossing and you like what you've heard from these guys, be sure to check it out on the Nintendo eShop. So yeah, and that's it. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.
You were just listening to us chat earlier in the week about Animal Crossing, all wirelessly and virtual on the internets. I now have Animal Crossing since that discussion because I wanted to hang out with them, and here I am. Love Animal Crossing. Would definitely recommend if you're looking for a way to connect with friends at the moment. It has come to the end of my time here, chatting to you alone. I've enjoyed spending time with you guys today and sharing some really poor jokes, video game jokes. Some of them, I'm still sort of hesitant to read some of them out. So if you'd like to check out some more jokes, head to jokesforus.com and type in video game jokes because they're hilarious. But also, I'm not entirely sure if they're PG, all of them. So I will leave it up to you to go check out some terrible video game jokes. So this week's been fun, and I hope that you've enjoyed the show. Please feel free to follow us on Facebook to see what we've been up to. I've been streaming live every episode on Facebook, so feel free to come say hi at ZEDGamesAU. You get to see me in the studio. You get to see what I'm doing, and I interact with you guys in between the music as well. So you can listen to the live broadcast that we produce each week, and you can also, if you want to just keep me company because I'm all alone, you can. So on that note, have a good time, and keep playing games and stay indoors.
Thanks for listening to Z Games. If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify or follow us on social media at ZEDGamesAU. See you next time.